what difference does it make? I mean,
Kick us
it's an
off.
episode.
Kick us off, Santa.
Episodes are episodes. Ho, 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 Luca Nation. There you go. Kick us off, Santa. Dude, Santa Claus is like one of those easy ones for me to do because I got a big bowl full of jelly for a belly. And Christmas is fun, man. I mean, I'm just a big kid. Anybody who's listened to a single episode or part of an episode for 500 and whatever we've done now has to know I'm just a big kid, which is why I love the hobby. So, I mean, I get to collect cards, do stuff that I did as a kid, get to talk about the stuff that we did as a kid, get to basically, as an adult, still be a little bit of a kid. So, it's a lot of fun. And besides the hobby, besides baseball cards, I still call it baseball cards, man. What's good, Regulus? It's the season of giving, is what they say. So, we want to come on here, do a live episode. We've done a couple of these fun, lives, and just talk about what we're thankful for from last year, what we're looking forward to next year, and maybe do some giving, right? Do some giving,
dude. When you look back, like, does this happen to you? How many things have happened in the hobby this year? Like, if you think back, like
a lot.
January was like the boom of the hobby, right?
Yeah.
And then here we are less than a year later, like at the boom, like cards were setting record prices. That was when the Yordan Fleer PSA 10 sold for 700,000 and change.
Yep.
And less than 6 months later, we said the hobby's dead. And then here we are. Fanatics acquired the Tops and Panini licenses. It's crazy.
Alive.
Like,
think of the people we've had in also. That should kind of tell you your year. People we've got to speak to, at different times during the hobby, right? Think of the people who have come and gone and come back again. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I couldn't get enough Lefko. Now I can't find him. He got his job at Alt and disappeared. Where are you, Lefko? Did you just, check in with me. Make sure just like knock 3 times on the ceiling if you're still alive. You got that big Alt check and then boom, vanished. Shyway vlogs, beginning of the year, everywhere. Middle of the year, gone. Now back triumphantly with a new haircut. Maybe Lefko's going to come back with a new haircut. I don't know. I mean, 2022, man. Maybe it's the triumphant return. You never know. That's why I love the hobby.
Alt is stealth mode, Cage. Alt
stealth. That's what it is.
Alt moves in silence.
You're probably right. You're probably right. You like the Alt platform. I can't say anything bad. You are an Alt sexual. That sounded terrible.
Dude, the reason is, and I was thinking about this today because I was playing around with Card Ladder. I see why PSA bought them, because remember we had Leo and he was talking about how he was trying to get in on the PSA buying or collector. What was it? The private equity group buying Collectors Universe with Nat Turner to work out. They need data. Alt has data. I don't know if you use like as much as I use for vaulting. It has a tremendous amount of data, and it pulls in comps from MySlabs, Golden Auctions, PWCC. Obviously, they pull in their own comps. So they have that data tool. And they have, the pop count. They have their charts. They even have, how Card Ladder has Card Ladder value?
Mm-hmm.
Alt has alt value. So I think, the purchase of PSA purchasing Card Ladder was as much to compete with alt as it was anything else, because there are a lot of cards that aren't on Card Ladder, believe it or not.
Well, I mean, listen, if we're going down there, and we can talk about it, I mean, it's a fun one. We never know what we're going to talk about when we start these episodes, but I think that the PSA purchase of Card Ladder is because one of the things that, PSA has that's head and shoulders above what everybody else has. It's not just the slabs and the whole deal. It's the pop report, set registry, those type of things, right? Where, it allows for continuity and liquidity, and they're not kind of just resting on the fact that they're an industry leader. Right. I mean, Beckett has one, SGC has one, as far as like, set registries, pop reports. But I think, if they were on here, they would, and they were being honest, they would tell you that what they have is, it's nothing in comparison to what PSA has. And now PSA is layering on, when you have a membership, you're going to get a little more detailed information. When you click on it, it wasn't just pop, it was pop and like values, like SMRs and, auction results. And they can use that data to give kind of a more robust, evaluation to the card. It's very smart. I think we'll see more of that.
You think so? What are you feeling about 2022? You excited?
Well, I mean, listen,
you sold your NFTs.
I saw a lot of them. I did. I saw a lot of them. We'll see. There'll be other ones in 2022. There'll be other ones. I still have plenty. I still have, I don't know, in my wallet, 600-700 of them. So it's not like I have no. It's not like I sold them all. I wish I did.
Well, my little orphan fatales, you got to hide.
That's gonna be tough to sell. Yeah, I mean that 700 number includes what I have in my hidden wallet. But no, I mean, here's the funny part. If you asked me Christmas last year, I mean, you might have. I don't even remember our Christmas. What I saw for the coming year. Right? I would not have said Top Shot. I would not have said NFTs. I would not have said those record prices for Michael Jordan, for all of the cards that we saw. I would not have said that we were going to have a golden PSA card ladder unholy union during the calendar year of 2021. But we, believe it or not, we have that. They're all under one umbrella now. Collectors they may be, they're all kind of under Big Brother. So I would not have predicted any of that. So I can't even imagine what 2022 is going to be. I will tell you, going into 2021, it would have been hard to imagine what happened to modern. And I'm not just talking about like ultra modern and base, but like remember what was also flying high then? LeBron Chrome, Kobe Chrome. Like these were not quote unquote, high pop modern cards. Think of what Acuna's rookies, bat up, bat down, bat up his butt. It didn't matter which variation it was. Think of what Soto's cards were doing. Think of what, Tatis's cards were doing. Those are more, your ultra modern. But just there were cards that were flying. And coming into this year, it was hard. It would be hard to imagine that those would be as beaten down as they are now. So I mean, I think the key to looking forward is you don't know what you're gonna expect, and sometimes the unexpected happens. Who knows? Maybe it's the return of the base. You never know.
I have a theory, and it's actually probably not going to surprise you too much. You guys, I hope it's not annoying you. I do draw a lot of comps between NFTs and cards, but
it's a little annoying. It's a little.
I understand why.
But listen, we're okay. We're nice and we're assholes. Like we can be a little bit of both. That's what I learned from this week, and I am the nicest asshole you'll ever meet. I just want to make sure you know
true. That's actually true. Anytime we try to hire anyone for the team, he is the nicest asshole. No, he's just an asshole. But other than that, you're one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And honestly, I'm grateful that I've met you, Cage. But do you agree with this statement? I think the Michael Jordan Fleer is the CryptoPunk of the sports card space.
Ooh, that could be good and bad. That could be bad. I mean, it may have already had its CryptoPunk.
Not bad or good.
Week of down.
Not bad or good, but it's the card that sets the market for the rest of the cards beneath it. I think CryptoPunks very much were the bellwether stock of NFTs, and I think Jordan cards are the bellwether of other cards. And I'll tell you what I'm seeing is, how there's like that floor price on NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
You also go to the holders of the NFT project, and you see who's holding this project. Mm-hmm. And when you see a lot of whales holding a project, and when you see a lot of whales who've bought into a project at 40 or 50 ETH, they're not going to sell below. They have no reason to, right? Yep. That's what I'm seeing with the Jordan cards. I think the Jordan card hits $1 million next year, the PSA 10.
In 2022? Maybe. It's possible.
Because what I've seen is kind of like this changing of hands, right? These people who bought in the Jordan card at 30, 40,000 for a PSA 10, they can't not get out at 300,000, Cage. You know what I mean? Even if you're the biggest believer, that's life-changing money for someone who got into a Jordan card for 30,000.
Yeah, now, I mean, I get it.
You have Ben Baller, you have Steve Aoki, who sold his. You have these whales, who, I'm sure Rob Go has some, Gary has some. You have whales who own a good portion of this Jordan population. There's not as much as you think. There's 310 PSA 10s. I'm not sure how many SGC 10s, and there's a decent amount BGS 9s. What I've seen is they change hands, and I can't see that card falling any lower. I actually think that card hits $1 million because of who's holding that card.
It'll be difficult because the million is one of those weird numbers where once it hits $1 million, there's a lot of people who bought it between 80 and 200 who would be like, all right, it's $1 million. I always said I'm going to hold it till it's $1 million. Like it will definitely act as some resistance there. Remember, guys, I own this. Hey, how about this? Is that your bold? Is that your bold prediction for 2022 that the Jordan
Yeah.
reaches? So I didn't even get to ask. That's a bold prediction.
I think
So
the BGS 10. I think a BGS 10 will sell
but
for
I
2
said
million
this.
plus.
I said this 2.5. I said
I
this like
take
4
all of
episodes
your
ago.
shit, dude. I don't say
Yeah,
anything
you steal it
original.
all. You steal it all.
The ideas I had for Josh Luber, those were yours. You just aren't ballsy enough to say
They
them.
were mine. They were mine. Every one of them was mine. You bum. So I'll make my bold one. You ready for this? Here's my
Yeah.
bold one.
Andrew's going to be a millionaire by the end of 2022.
The
That's not
low
that bold.
pop numbered stuff that everybody chased this year is going to go down next year.
You mean disco circles, blue?
No. Not that. No one chased disco circles. I'm talking about prism golds.
Oh,
I'm talking about exquisites and low numbered, autos. I'm talking about, those limited logos that were $50,000 or $60,000 that are now 250, 300,000. I'm talking about, those cards, not the high level stuff, although I think they're going to also come down a little bit too. I think, everybody came into this a couple years ago and like, okay, buy your guys, buy your Giannis and buy your Luka and buy your guys. And everybody bought them and they went up in price. But all the talking heads have been saying the same thing this year. You can't just buy base. You gotta buy low pop stuff. You gotta buy the stuff that the collectors want. You gotta buy this. Well, okay, that's great. It's all well and good, but we know this when everybody jumps into the same area. There's usually a cap for it, right? And the biggest reason I come up with this for bold prediction, remember, it's bold prediction, guys. I mean, it's kind of the stuff that people are going to give you heat on, especially because the people holding these things now have a lot of money in it. But think about it. Just for the same reason why I think that Jordan card, when it gets anywhere near sniffing $1 million, people come out of the woodwork and are going to sell it. Same as this. Everybody who had these cards, all these collectors who had these cards, they've now seen these things run. And I think what we're going to have in 2022, and people will talk about like, oh, that's the year of the collector. I think we're going to have a year where the collector is tested, right? I think we're starting to see it already, where you were a collector, and that's great, and you get to collectors are better than flippers. You get to pound your chest about it all the time until that card you were holding has gone up to a number where you have to look at it and say, okay, I think maybe this is it. Maybe my BGS 8 LeBron Exquisite has reached that $1 million mark, and I'm going to get out of it. Right? Maybe this other limited logo is at $300,000 when I paid 30 grand for it, or whatever the story is. Maybe I have to exit this. Maybe I have to leave. Maybe I have to sell this thing. Right? There is a point where things have gone up. I'm going to say too much, too fast.
Well,
and
I'll give you an example of that card. The silver prism of Tom Brady from 2018.
Yeah.
I mean, how much was that card raw? Like $50?
I mean, if you got in early enough, sure, 50, 100, 200 bucks, whatever the heck it was. Now
for
it's
silver.
Well, remember,
in his 18th year.
Yeah, so people chase these things all the time because there's no real price discovery, and you got a couple people chasing these things, and you got a couple people now with a narrative of 2018 Prism is clean and looks really nice and blah blah blah. We even heard Josh Luber say it, but I'm just I'm telling you, these things have run, and they've run a lot, and you saw it with your CryptoPunks. I believe you're going to see it with Bored Apes, to draw your NFT correlation, right? Everybody's making money hand over fist in these things, right? If you were lucky enough to have these low-numbered collectible items, right? If you were smart enough to grab them all, right? People are now all being told this is what they have to do. If you're going to stay in the hobby now, shame on you. Get away from those base cards. You were an idiot to have bought them to begin with, is what everyone's telling me. I'm an idiot.
Right? That was the narrative in April, May, June.
And everybody has swung that pendulum now. It's go quick, get your Prism Golds, do you see how much Prism Golds sell for now? Right? You see how much these things sell for? They
sell for more than black gold, Cage, that makes no sense to me, by the way.
I mean, listen, that's a supply and demand thing. Sometimes the lower rare stuff doesn't matter. We saw that with the retail parallels, and you could see it with Pulsar variants of Prism that are out of 35. The green Pulsar that's only in retail. The blue Ice will probably sell for more than that. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't a retail specific, parallel. There's
Is
a pink
black gold
Prism.
Retail?
No. But people don't like black gold as much as they like gold. Is the point? You know what I mean? Even though it's out of 5 versus out of 10.
I think that corrects. That makes no sense.
Maybe. Well, my deal is, and I'll get off this one because again, it's bold prediction, and I hope it doesn't come true because obviously, I have a whole bunch of stuff, but I think there's been a lot of money swung over to these, buy these low pop cards, and I think they've really think about the pricing. Think of how much some of these cards have run just in the last 6 months. I base it really on that. I base it really on the fact that when you see something run as much as that, it's very difficult to sustain it. Now, I'm not saying over time, like a LeBron exquisite card is going to be a bad investment. I think in 5-10 years, it's probably way more than it is now. I'm just thinking you're going to see a correction. We've seen it, right? You've seen it with the charts. And if you look at the charts of like sports cards overall, what you saw was it was going up, this huge bump up, that bump down, and going up. If you wanted to, you could just take that huge bump up off, and you'd see a chart that looks like this. But for these type of cards, that bump up has just come recently. It's a big bump up, and I think we're going to see that kind of come down over time. It'll be a nice little chart going up. Anyway, I'll shut up. That's more pessimistic. It's Christmas. We're supposed to be happy and giving gifts and doing all that stuff. All right. I guess really the reason I say this is because, guys, there are people in the hobby who have watched the run-up of those cards in the last 3, 4, 5 months and have messaged me and said, hey, did I miss the boat on these? Did I miss the boat on cards? Should I get out of the hobby because I'm never going to be able to buy a $50,000, $70,000, $80,000 card? And it seems like those are the only things that are running now. And my answer going into 2022 is no. Those are going to probably that whole this is the only place you could safely put your money. I think that narrative is going to start to change soon. So be patient.
Yeah, and definitely no. Dude, be creative. Like, I'll tell you, people don't want to hustle in this sense. Like, I deposited $20 on Rally into a CryptoPunk, 2 shares. Now that is $96. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys a play, and then we're going to make our announcement here. And tell me if this is a good play. So I was going on.
It's great.
And I was
it's my favorite.
Looking at cards. Yordan Alvarez. PSA 10. It's a high pop, $11,000, but 11,000 population. It's a $20 card, $15 card.
What are you talking about? Just the tops? His tops rookie card? Just the tops with the cup?
And I do believe that lower end cards that you could go from like 15 to 30, 15 to 45. Like, I do think there's some value there for people who want to leave the hobby because they haven't made money. Don't sleep on doubling your money on little like kind of mispriced plays like that. Yordan is a monster. Yep. And Houston has been good year over year over year over year. You have a card of a guy that's, can I say he's a top 10 young talent, just to be fair?
Yeah, sure.
Easily top 10. For less than a grading fee in a PSA 10? Yeah. I mean, I think there's some value there. Maybe I'm crazy.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with those. Your Gavin Luxes, your Lewis Robert, your Jordans, your Bichettes. Because those were the last guys that came in under the wire, where you could still grade their base cards that are a couple dollar cards for $8-10 in those books. And I'm going to be interested. Like, this past year's Topps update was kind of garbage anyway. Like, I wouldn't even know who you would grade. But going forward, like, what's going to happen? When Wander has his Topps card here, are people going to pay to get that in a PSA 10 holder? Or it's just a Topps base card. Especially when you think, all right, I mean. Look, the pop and stuff, supply and demand is going to have to, it's going to have to dictate because you're not going to have the same supply of next year's class in PSA 10s. You're just not. Because obviously.
We saw it in NBA.
Yeah. And it's interesting. And then do people say, I am not going to pay $5,000 for a LaMelo PSA 10 when Zion's is $200? When Jaws is $300? Or do they actually go a little deeper into it and say, okay, the reason why Jaws is this much is because even though the demand is high, look at the supply. I mean, are people going to go and do that? I mean, so anyway, it's interesting, man. The whole change that's coming in now is going to be fun because I talked about this before this even happened. We talked about how this was going like this, and then we were going to have a crest, and we're going to go back down. I'm curious to see what happens on the other side. I love your play. And I think the add-on to it is variance. If you want to get something that's a little bit more rare and still of the player, and yet it's gotten beaten down. Yordan Alvarez in those Topps cards has a variant where it's a horizontal card. And, I think he's you can see more of the stadium behind it. I don't know if it's a bat, if he's swinging the bat.
Or
Yeah,
variant?
it's like an SP. It's like an SP variation, right? So, I've seen the word variant used on the Prism ones, which is why I do a variation. Who
You're talking
told us
about
about
Ja
this?
and Zion.
The
Manny
Ja
did.
and like the
Manny brought it up.
Zion, Manny from our crew here. He said, "Hey, you look at the pop. The Zion. If you're a Zion guy, but you don't want to spend $200 on his PSA 10 because it's 20,000, what about spending $500 on the Prism rookie? But the SP variation, the different pose, and what are they, 500? Or I don't know how many PSA 10s, but significantly less than the 20,000. That's an area to look at also, because those have been beaten down in the whole base craze, but they may come out as people love like heritage action poses, in the high numbers,
Yep.
The short prints, right? So that could be an interesting way to go. Also, just kind of piggybacking on your Yordan play. Shoot. Oh, before we jump into the announcement, I have a thank you. I want to thank Card Porn. We had our third highest listen of the show ever the day of the Card Porn release. So thank you, Card Porn, for your post. Obviously, a lot of people came and listened to our episode to see what we were all about. And if the early indications for today are in or anything, I think a lot of them are sticking around because they like us. People like us because I am the nicest asshole.
You love that data. I'll tell you guys, I never look at the data.
I do. I look at it every hour. I look at it. But yeah, we had a good day. Thank you.
Did we? Let me check it. Let me see.
Yeah, it was good.
Let's go. All right, so guys, I'll make the announcement. So you make the announcement. How would you make this announcement, Cage? I'll leave it to you, and then I'll layer on top of it if you want, or I could go if you. It's up to you.
Oh, my buddy's coming in. I told him it's Friday. I'm doing an episode. We haven't done our Friday open yet. Go ahead.
Ian got a $400. Oh wait, I'm not gonna tell him because he doesn't know yet.
He doesn't know anything.
He doesn't know.
No.
Cage and the missus went Christmas shopping.
Yes, but he does have something to open for Friday opening.
Is that right? Kaboom! My buddy just texted me, Cage. He said, "I'm just listening to support you. I have no idea what to do with cards."
Well, that's nice. Tell him thank you for the support and keep listening, and he'll know everything he needs to know. But guys, maybe we'll open a little. You guys can participate in Ian's Friday opening. So our announcement. So 2022 is going to bring a lot of fun stuff, and I'm sure we're going to have more announcements like this also. But I mean, is the ink dry on the agreements? No, so if the ink's dry in the agreements, then
verbal agreement.
We anticipate it all to go, but we are. Sorry, buddy. You want to put that back in your ear so you can hear Andrew? We are starting January 1st, and guys, I don't know if you've paid attention to this stuff. We're taking a new tact on what we do as far as strategic partnerships for our podcast. And, it's great that we get stuff out of it, but when we sit down and we talk to partners and people come and approach us pretty often, we ask what they not only can do for us, but what they can do for Luca Nation. And we want to make sure you're aware of that. It's kind of Christmas Eve, and this is, in the spirit of giving. We have lots of conversations with prospective partners, and we kick around a lot of ideas for what kind of value we can bring back to the nation. And on January 1st, we will start a 1-year partnership with SGC. SGC is going to be a partner of Luca's Tigers and Bronze podcast. And we took less in money because on a monthly basis, we are going to, with SGC, get 50 free cards graded for Luca Nation. There might be some months where those are going to be given out specifically to a Luca's Tigers NFT holder. Not this month. This month it's just going to be, folks that we do random giveaway here. We're going to do 50 free card gradings. But basically, SGC heard us, understood what we were trying to do, has heard Andrew speak about the little guy over and over again, and that there was nobody there, to help them grade the cards that have been sitting in their basement and the cards that, they can't pay $100 to grade. And said, all right, well, you know what? In addition, we will give you guys this. And, And, you know, we expect more than this, and we're going to deliver more for SGC. But right now, as a baseline, 50 per month for Luca Nation. That means over the course of the contract, bare minimum, we will have 600 free grades, free grading submissions to be done for Luca Nation as part of our agreement. Pretty cool, right? You were going to do the math?
I did the math, and
Go
I was
ahead.
going to say that.
What were you going to say?
600.
Is how many?
600 per year.
Right.
And 2 years
50
would
per
be
month.
1,200.
So what would be 6 months?
6 months would be 300.
300. That's it.
Oh.
All right. Well done, little mathematician. So, I mean, guys, we're really, really excited about this. You know, it falls in line, I think, with what we've been trying to say, right? Which is we view our podcast, our group, our station, our listeners, you know, the community we built as mostly the little guy. People who have, you know, come into this hobby recently, people who've been in it a little while and find their own path, right? Whether it's folks like, you know, Bro Namath who do their own thing and grade videos and are the first to make a market and things like comics, or Yamwax, who is, you know, the first one to go out there and make that Tomy market, or do the Elon Musk, you know, rookie card, or Reckless, who's doing, you know, they buy collections and they you know, they have their family involved and they do giveaways, or, you know, the countless amount of people. And guys, I wish I could name every single one of the thousands of you listening to this, but I can't. But most of you guys are ones who came into this when the market was very different than it is now, and it was rip and grade and flip and collect and keep some stuff that you like that got graded, but you didn't have a huge bankroll coming in. And a lot of what we talked about was growing that bankroll. How do you do it? What kind of plays do you make to grow that bankroll? And, you know, look, it sounds like 26% of you, according to an unofficial poll, like plays that are given, and 70-something% of you don't like plays. But we're going to keep giving them because, I mean, if you listened to us last week, you were able to buy that F1 Tops Now card, which is selling now just raw a week later for ridiculous amounts more than what you were able to buy it for if you listened to us in the first day our episode was released. You know, and does that mean there's going to be a bag holder eventually? No. Go ahead. Yeah, please.
So guys, I am the little guy. I like, I'm still trying to make it so much. I always say this to Cage, and if you guys go back to like early October, November, I said, like, remember you asked me, like, if you're a PSA, what would you do? And I couldn't think of it. Like, I was like, just offer free grading, 1,000, 500, because okay, I understand that you have to price at 100 for a reason, but at least offer something back to the community because these businesses have made so much money. And I got to tell you, the SGC partnership, we didn't expect it. We work hard. We know we have a special community, but it came out of nowhere. No, I'm not 5'2", Manny. I'm 5'10". It came out of nowhere, and it was cool when we floated that idea on the table. It was kind of like came full circle, right? Cage put me on the spot 2 months ago. I came up with the idea, and we pitched it, and they were really supportive. And yeah, free grading, it's not going to do everything, right? But for this month, here's how I think we should do it, Cage. I don't have a great way to do a giveaway. Tell me if you want. I just think if you guys email me, we'll do first come, first serve. Limit max 3 per customer, but that's $100, right? So it's not a lot of money. It's not $1,000 giveaway per person.
Listen, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out because not a lot of people know your email address.
Well, they're guessing my height. They're guessing my height, and they're kind of fucking with me right now.
Well, anybody who guesses 5'1" is 100% on. He's got like a whole Ben Stiller thing going on right now. You know what it is? You got the whole Blue Steel look going on with your hair right now. It's very high. Your hair is very high.
Does it add 2 inches?
So if you're 5'10", 4 inches of it is hair right now. That's why people are saying 5'2". I'm just saying.
It's hurtful.
You know, I mean, I don't know why people want to make fun of your height. That's not exactly very nice. But I mean, look, it is what it is, man. No, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll drop a comment. We'll drop an announcement in Discord, or we'll do it that way. We just wanted to make sure we announce this. And guys, I'm going to go one step further with the announcement, and I hope SGC doesn't, get mad at me for this. But if they do, it is what it is. The partnership will end before it starts. I'm just kidding. But I can't say this is going to happen. But you guys should know almost kind of behind the scenes of where we go in these things.
We talk.
One of the things. I'm sure this surprises you all, but one of the things that I asked SGC to consider, and as we talk today, they are considering this. It's not something that's coming for you guys today. It's not something that's coming for you guys, this week or even in the next couple of weeks. But what I've asked SGC to do is, even for a limited basis, a limited amount, a covered amount, just for Luca Nation, to offer up some form of a value type of bulk sub. A limited amount per month, per week. They're going to do some data crunching, number crunching, you name it, to see whether or not they have an expert grader, somebody who is enough that they could dedicate to it. They'll see whether or not they have the bandwidth for it. But we really did take that into account when we decided, all right, we're gonna partner with SGC, because to me that is a difference maker. Because I know the folks listening to this have cards that they want to grade, but even at $50, which was the limited window last week, and forget about 100, or even when it's $50 in full, they can't grade. There's a lot of cards that you can't grade anywhere at $50. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't make a difference, right? So if SGC came in, and I don't know what the price point would be. I mean, I was hoping for $20 or less with a reasonable turnaround time and do like a bulk value type of thing. It's something that we are discussing with them for you. It's not something that anybody, I think, is going to be opening up into the masses, right? So it's an important thing, right? Because it's something that we can bring to our community, and we're really hoping it's something we can bring home. And the conversations so far on this front have been very favorable. So not saying anything.
And it comes from this place. You did it, right? Like you saw the value of the value sub.
Yep.
And by the way, I mean, right now it's $30 to grade with SGC, and I think Peter did a video yesterday where they're turning those around in 22 days, which is incredible.
Yep.
But still, there's something to be said about that value sub where there's $1, $2, $3, $5 cards. You put them aside every month, you send them away, you get them back in 6 months, and you could flip them, and it gets that bankroll going. I think it's a big deal, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, do you have a play for today?
No.
Are we doing no plays? No play Christmas?
No, I am not doing a play today. 100% not. I'm not. No, my play was piggybacking on your play, which was, let's do the variations of it. I mean, I was going to do the Ja and the Zion one, but I added in Yordan Alvarez because you went with those plays. So that was my thought on it was, to make sure that.
Question, then.
Yeah, shoot.
Would you invest in Cooper Kupp and or Deebo Samuel?
No, I would not either one of them. No.
Cooper Kupp is having the best season ever wide receiver, except for Jerry Rice.
Cooper Kupp's he's a great wide receiver. He's not going to ever be cardboard relevant. He's going to have 1 or 2 very good seasons. And, he's more of a product of the offense and doesn't look like exactly the most bankable person. And I would tell you to look at somebody like Wes Welker or Julian Edelman. Wes Welker set the record for catches, in a single season, and nobody collected his cards, and no one collects his cards now. I mean, he's a slot receiver. It's a cool, thing to have in the game, but it's just not something that anybody buys. Receivers are very tough. Who's the best receiver in the game?
I was going to ask, what made Jerry Rice cardboard relevant? Do you think it's because he stayed with Montana for his career, and he had like that one team, and it was just like a flash in the pan that?
So was Montana young, and then he was over with the Raiders, and even had a couple good seasons with the Raiders. But yes, it was. I mean, listen, he just did things at a time where the game was not the way it is now, and I think he gets more love now looking back on it. Because remember, I collected when he was playing. When you got a Jerry Rice insert at the time, you were not happy. It wasn't Emmitt Smith or Barry Sanders or Dan Marino or Joe Montana or Steve Young or Brett Favre. He was great. I mean, trust me, he was better than getting Ricky Waters. It was better to get him than Chris Carter because all he did was catch touchdowns. It was better to get him than Herman Moore. And all of that had inserts back then too. So all great players, but nobody was really collecting Jerry Rice. It wasn't until Rice was done and you look at the body of his work where you're like, okay, this guy was fantastic, So that's the tough part about wide receivers. And I would go even one step further with what's his name, Deebo Samuel. I mean, Deebo the last
Dude, he's
5.
dynamic.
I mean, I have him on my fantasy team. He's doing great, but the last 5 weeks leading up into yesterday, he actually only had about 50 something yards per game receiving, but he was running the ball and scoring touchdowns as sort of like this new type of combined player. It's just this is the first time he's been sort of healthy all year, and he's putting up these kind of numbers. It's not somebody I would invest in now, just because I don't think it repeats. And the only wide receiver that became sort of cardboard relevant over the last couple of years when people were investing was Michael Thomas. And then look what happened to him this year. People were legit buying Michael Thomas cards coming into the season. Remember? People were buying him last year, and he didn't play. I drafted him this year in fantasy in the 6th round because he was supposed to be coming back after week 6 or week 8, and he just never came back.
I got another question for you. So, again, as I
Junis Zagauskas.
Paige, I told you about this. This is my best buddy from high school. We had this summer. It was in 2007, 2008. I graduated high school. And every day that summer, we went to a friend's house, played basketball, swam in his pool, and barbecued. And we had this tournament game going. It was just 2-on-2. It was Kobe's versus LeBron's.
Right.
Can you take a guess who was Kobe's?
I'm guessing you were Kobe.
Yes. Let me ask you. Again, you're seeing the same exact narrative with LeBron. He doesn't have enough help. Do you agree with that?
No. I just think that.
Sorry.
I mean, he built his own team, first of all, and second of all, yeah, I mean, he's got talent around him. They're just not doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? I mean, Anthony Davis is people's, he was top 5 in the betting for the MVP this year coming into the season, right? I mean, Carmelo Anthony is top 10 all-time scorer in league history. You got Dwight Howard manning the paint. Russell Westbrook, was one of these guys who was a triple-double machine and MVP, right? And it's just not working, right? So I think he's got plenty of talent around him. You don't?
No. I most certainly do. And I believe that you should sleep in the bed that you made, right? I've never seen a superstar create a team every place he's gone, and still the narrative is that he doesn't have enough help. But I will tell you guys, take a look at Anthony Davis 2012 Prism, because that card has been sold off so hard.
What's it at?
Let me check it's $190 for a PSA.
No,
Yeah.
100 for Anthony Davis.
Let me check.
No way. I mean, I looked at it. It was like 400. Yeah, 400. I looked. Yeah, that makes a little more sense to me.
Take a look at it, guys. It's at an all-time low. Well, relative low in the last year and a half. All-time low. Let me put it that way, because we're in a new hobby. But take a look at his card, because one, he's going to come back and be rested, right? So he's still so talented. He's so talented. And as much as I dislike him, I can also admit that there's opportunity there. So, Cage. People ask about us for our football plays, but let me just recap, guys. On September 20th, 28th, we launched our Lucas Tigers NFTs. I'll be honest with you. We had no fucking clue what we were doing. We learned on the fly. NFTs are new, and specifically us developing an NFT program is super new. So you guys do that, and we're doing the best we can to help grow that. So far, since that time, here's what we've done. We got a Dibs partnership for $5,000. We spread that out across holders. Here we are 4 months later. We're fortunate. It's thanks to you guys. We got 50 free submissions every single month to give away to support our community with SGC. I don't know what 2022 is going to bring, but I'll tell you, man, we're guys that are going to show up every single day. We're going to give back. We're going to answer questions. We're going to interact. We're going to engage with you guys. We love our community. We love people. And we love the hobby. So I don't know, and I can't promise what 2022 is going to bring, but we'll do everything we can in our power to give back to the community, to get you guys benefits, and to have some fun.
I'm trying to get the chat, man. That's why I can see what people are saying in the chat. That's what I'm doing over here. I'm trying to get the chat up.
Go for it. I'll tell you my 2 plays for tomorrow.
Tomorrow for football, it's Sunday. We got a lot of time. It's cool.
There's 2 games
tomorrow. Yeah, 2 games tomorrow. Yes, yeah.
So Packers, Browns, and Colts, Cardinals. I'm going to go simple on this. Baker Mayfield's back means you fade the Browns. Baker Mayfield, I think, is the worst starting quarterback there is. that like still is considered good.
Yep.
I go Packers all the way. All right, Cage can't. Dude,
No, go ahead.
Resist. You can't
Go
resist.
ahead. I want to give
You
the kid a
can't
pack
resist.
open. Go ahead. No, please. I'm with you on this. I don't even know what the spread is, but if it's less than 12, I'm going Packers.
7.5.
Yeah, so Packers.
Packers at home.
Daddy, what sport
And
is
the second game is Colts Cardinals.
I know
And
Oh, you love soccer? Okay. Go ahead, Colts Cardinals.
Cardinals are -2. Where do you go with this? At home.
Colts.
Colts.
Yeah, Cardinals.
On the
What
same
you saw last
There.
week was that DeAndre Hopkins means a lot to this team. Like I think it's more stop. It's more important for them to have Hopkins and a crappy quarterback than to have Kyler with no Hopkins. That's my take. And dude, you got to help with these because I don't know who the hell these people are. Richarlison. It's one word. Richarlison.
You're gonna have to show me.
I just got Holland.
Oh yeah, cool.
You hit a Haaland?
It's just a base Dunras Haaland.
Nice, not terrible. But we're going for kabooms, right?
Yeah, it'd be nice if we get a
Kaboom
kaboom.
hunting.
Griezmann. These are just the base.
I'll take these my picks for tomorrow
I'm gonna
night.
skip the base.
My first play that I love,
Go to those.
Dallas Mavericks plus 12.5 versus the Jazz. Jazz are not as good as advertised. I'll tell you, man. Well, here's the issue with the Jazz. They could blow teams out, but they play some games really close that they shouldn't, and that frustrates me.
The Jazz.
Yeah, I still can't make sense of this Jazz team.
Oh,
Alright,
you got
dude,
some
if you guys
optics.
are we're gonna get podcast listeners that leave us negative reviews because of all them.
Oh no, that's no good. I figured you wanted to go live. You might as well. Podcast listeners don't like crunching. So go ahead, keep talking about tomorrow's basketball games. Everybody wants to hear what to bet. The 4 people who actually bet, who play with cards.
I actually think. Yeah, James, I hear you on the Jazz, but
Bellingham.
the Jazz are an interesting team, man, because they play a lot of games closer than they should, but they also blow a lot of teams out.
Let me just finish this back.
Go ahead, you can open them. I don't like the Jazz. The Jazz are a good regular season team, and they don't show up. It's okay, just open
It's
them
still
up.
the regular season, though, Cage. It's still the regular season.
That's very true. Ian says, he wants to know if you ever heard of this guy, Sancho, out of 99. I never heard of him. Jadon Sancho.
You know him.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. All right, so the Jazz, the Jazz may win some games. Do we care?
I don't like the board tomorrow. There's not much I like. I can't bet on the Lakers versus the Nets because both teams are super unpredictable. Honestly, the Lakers look worse and worse with every game. Knicks, Hawks, don't know. Celtics, Bucks, Warriors, Suns. That's going to be a beautiful game. I would play Warriors money line in that one. Just I think there's too much value. Phoenix -6.
How about another bold prediction for you? I think Curry stuff is overpriced.
Yeah, you
I
said
think we
that.
had
It's not true though.
We had a nice opportunity there where where he was underpriced, and then all of a sudden, boom, cards just went like this, through the roof for Curry. It's not true. You're buying Curry at prices now? Okay.
This is pretty cool. James Fertitta says, in fact, anyone here won 2 free tickets to tomorrow's Utah versus Dallas game. That's incredible.
Now.
That's really nice. I hope someone listens and take James Fertitta, guys. That's really generous. Really, really generous. I guess who lives in Utah out of our community? I know Coffee Breakers has a store in Utah. All right, Cage. Any final words? So, guys, we're going to let you guys know how we're going to do the giveaway for SGC 50 grades a month. Basically, how we're going to do it is we're going to ask you all to send the cards to Cage. He's aggregate them, put them together, and send them to SGC. That's the easiest way logistically that we figured out to do this. We're still learning on the fly. Any final words before we wrap?
No, but the positive was who has more collectors, Curry or LeBron? Just want to thank you both for all your amazing insights and absolute first-class content every single day with no exceptions. Absolutely how you guys come up with content every day. Listen, here's the fun part, right? And when you say this to Andrew, we appreciate you guys thanking us, but we have to come on and thank you. Every day we show up we should start off by thanking you guys for listening, thanking you guys for all of the stuff you do. It's why when we have calls with somebody like SGC, why the first thing we say is what? An auto? Come here. Is it somebody you know? Why are you excited about this? You don't even know who
It's
Jared.
Mexico.
It's a Mexican autograph. Jared
Maybe we can give
Borghetti.
that to Andrew.
Oh, because he lives in Mexico, so you're excited because there's an
That's pretty
autograph
cool.
for someone.
That's
who
pretty
plays
cool.
in
I'm gonna give that
Mexico.
that's a nice auto too.
So there you go. I thought he was excited. He was all excited. I got something great. I thought it was gonna be somebody I heard of. Anyway, guys, the point is, you guys, we only get to do this stuff because of you. I mean, a grading company is not going to be telling us we'll give you free grades every month if it's not for you guys. It's not for the community behind it, and they know that you guys, are smart collectors, and they're people that they want their cards in an SGC holder. You know what I mean? So it's this is symbiotic, I guess is the best word, and we love putting out this content. I tell Andrew this all the time. We finish up the episode, and I'm like, that was the best part of my day. Let's go. Let's do it again. Let's rock. Let's do another episode. So, we want to say thanks. We love each and every one of you guys. And maybe if you want, I mean, I'm getting a lot of cool messages, a lot of cool DMs from folks, saying Merry Christmas and the whole 9 yards. Little Ronaldo Marvels. That's pretty cool looking.
That's a sick card. That's worth grading, Gage.
Oh, cool. So, anybody who wants to, you got an idea, right? You got a question. You got something you want to chat about, right? I'm getting a lot of people messaging me saying, when are we going to have Coffee with Cage? Can we do that again? And maybe we will. Maybe 2022 will have to be the return of the Coffee with Cage. And we'll go from there. Hey, listen, it's
Can
a
we
Ronaldo
rebrand
box.
it Cola with Cage?
Ronaldo Hollow.
Dude, Ian literally pulls the best cards. That's a good. You're gonna grade that one too, right?
Daddy,
We'll see. We shall see. You think
it's
you
a
got something good because it's gold?
It's a gold Marvel.
Oh, gold Marvel. Okay, but I don't know who this guy is. Calvert Lewin.
Hey, be grateful.
I am grateful. I'm grateful for a gold one. I am. I just don't know the guy. But yeah. Anyway, guys, we love you. We wanted to come on here and give you that announcement just as a Christmas thing and let you know, the Christmas gifts that are coming of free grading. And we expect not only to, to bolster that sponsorship and do other cool stuff with them. We're going to have SGC on sometime in January to talk about, what they got going on behind the scenes, and to let you guys meet, the SGC team. Because we do believe, part of what's fun about this is you get to see our ugly mugs. You get to see that I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet. You get to see Andrew, 5'2" and all. You might as well get to meet the SGC folks as well, because you're going to be sending them your cards, you're going to send them your assets and sending them money. You might as well know who's handling your stuff.
Can we talk about one more thing?
Shoot,
so
man.
I think this is insane. We are sponsored by Whatnot. We have a partnership with Whatnot. By the way, guys, for us to keep that going, we need all the support, right? And all the support that we need is people on there, jumping on there and watching the show every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. But I think it's cool. So there's two things here. My nose is a little runny, so I apologize.
You're allowed.
Logan Paul is doing a live break. Is it Christmas or is it tomorrow?
Christmas.
Do you know?
Christmas is tomorrow.
And
so it's Christmas and tomorrow.
I believe Logan Paul is an investor and Whatnot.
Really? Okay.
What do you think he's doing? Do you think he's Logan Paul and Andreessen Horowitz invest $150 million into Whatnot Series C.
Wow.
Yeah, that was September of this year. So I think it's insane that we're sponsored by a company invested by these people. But do you think he's going to release his own NFT that kind of also bridges Pokemon and the NFT world? He loves Pokemon.
It will make sense. You guys just spent $3.5 million for a 6-box case, sealed 6-box case of first edition.
Yeah, but you know how Puerto Rico works. They pay that shit right back to him. He only pays
pretty
half
much.
Of that.
Yep, you get a little tax break. That's why it's rolled right into a video. I mean, listen, very, very smart. And yeah, it's cool. Look at what Whatnot's doing. I mean, again, another one of those things that if we go back to Christmas last year, you talk about what's going to happen with the hobby, none of us would have even mentioned that. And in July, I was getting free bomb pops from them. So think of how far they've come. Free bomb pops from me. That's exactly where you want to be. But listen, guys, the more important thing is we'll have an episode for you tomorrow. Enjoy the day with your family. Whether you celebrate Christmas or you don't, it's a cool day. It's a weekend day. Enjoy the games. Enjoy basketball. Enjoy football. Think of it, great sport day, great card day, right? There's just a lot of cool stuff going on in the hobby. There's a lot of great content out there. And, we want you to enjoy yourself. We want you to have fun and, have fun with your family. What'd you get? Let me see. He wants you to
Jay,
see
you're
this.
1,000% right. Jay,
Everyone.
a fan listener from Australia, he said 3.5 million in boxes, 35 million plus in paid promotion. They are great marketers. They're very smart.
Very smart. I don't know who Memphis Depay from the Netherlands is, but we got a piece of his jersey.
He plays for Barcelona now.
Player worn.
Do you know any soccer players?
Hey, that's all an average.
Player worn. Let's see. So, do I know any soccer players? I know Cristiano Ronaldo, who we got a couple cards of. I now know Jared Borghetti, Jadon Sancho, Felix Yao. I know this dude. The card was dinged up like all get out, but it's a really cool looking card. Messi. This looks like an old 91 Donruss. Oh, it's an off-centered, very off-centered.
Cage,
This guy,
last questions, and we'll wrap.
Off-centered. But go ahead, yes, please, last card, and we'll wrap.
And guys, we'll let you know about how to get access to the SGC thing. I think just email me, first come first serve. Cage might have a better option.
You're gonna have to give people your email address. It's not fair. First come first serve. Like they don't know where to email you. Okay, good.
I'll type it right here. I am Andrew Goldberg at gmail.com. And we're going to do everyone will get at least 2 grades. We're going to try to keep it between 2 and 5, and that'll be just random. But remember, we're going to be doing this every month. Some months will be exclusive for NFT holders, which, by the way, if you guys want to support, we're also doing like a buy one, get one free with that. So if you go to lucastigers.com, you can mint one right there. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, email me. We'll hop on a Zoom call, and I'll walk you through creating a MetaMask, buying Ethereum. It's actually a lot easier than it seems. And by the way, if you would have bought, you probably have access to this new token that came out, and I could walk you through that as well. Who has more collectors, Curry or LeBron?
LeBron.
You think that's gonna last?
Yeah, I do. I think Curry's great. I think Curry's having a great season. I think Curry is, he'll never be thought of as like a generational guy because he's just there. He's a great shooter, right? And we've always had great shooters. And Curry's different. He may be the best shooter ever. But if you go back over time, there have always been sharpshooters. Hell, Fleer even did a sharpshooter set, right? And Glenn Rice from Miami was thought of as an amazing shooter. Reggie Miller, amazing sharpshooting, player, right? Was one of the guys that had a lot of threes. Ray Allen, thanks, buddy. Great 3-point shooter. These guys are great sharpshooters, but ultimately, they're not the all-around game, right? They're not defense, offense. Somebody like Giannis, who defensive player of the year, MVP, championship, somebody like that who can do all of it. I mean, he doesn't have a 3-point shot, obviously. I would think he has a better chance of, and he would have to do a lot still. Curry's great. And don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on Curry. I love Curry, and I was a huge Curry guy before this season. People go back and listen to we've talked about this. I'm a Curry guy. I bought maybe the most expensive Curry Top Shot moment that anybody paid for. You know what I mean? And I'm on Curry. I thought in the beginning of the year and last season he was undervalued, and the dude came out of nowhere with what could have been viewed as an MVP season last year. Like I said, second in the voting. But the problem is what he's doing now. People are really chasing. People are really reaching for his stuff. It's just what I think. I mean, I could be wrong. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
I'll tell you. Here's why I don't think that Curry cards are underpriced. And guys,
you don't think they're underpriced or overpriced?
I don't think they're overpriced. And you guys email me. Give me a few days. I'm in Vail right now. I'm going to be traveling back to Mexico tomorrow, so I might be a little bit behind. But I'll get to all the emails. I'll send you instructions. I'm going to probably ask you guys to ship the cards to Cage. He'll aggregate them and send them out to SGC. That seems like the plan. It might change. Please don't hold me to it. I think if the Warriors win a championship this year, a real conversation becomes, is LeBron washed up and is he going to stop at 4 championships? And what happens if Curry and the Warriors win a 5th? Right? So if he wins this year, he has 4 and he's tied with LeBron. Mm-hmm. What happens if that's an interesting another one where it's like buy the hype, sell the dues. If they win this year, I wouldn't hold all the way till next year to hope that he wins a 5th. What you're going to start hearing is the conversation of if Curry wins a 5th, is he more important to our generation than LeBron? And the conversation is going to create record prices.
I mean, he already has record prices.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't think Curry's, dude, I don't think you realize Curry has way less cards available to invest in than LeBron. So you see record prices, but there are less of them available.
Really? You think there's less of his Topps rookie cards?
Yeah,
I mean, they're numbered.
It's not even close. It's not
like
close.
Thousands of them. Even the golds, 2,099 of them. There's a lot.
Not even close. Like I would compare Curry to Mantle when it comes to this kind of stuff because, dude, like the issue, like Mantle is iconic, but he was the greatest player of all time or in that conversation, but there were other great players too, right, Cage? I think what made, just real quick, what made Mantle also super investable is that his cards were thrown in the river, right? So there was way less supply of his cards, which is why you see all of these record prices for Mantle. There's not a lot of investment cards for Curry. Dude, there's a ton of investment cards for LeBron. A ton. Basketball Card Fanatic, the magazine, did a breakdown of Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron, who had the most rookie cards. LeBron had the most rookie cards, man.
But that doesn't surprise me though. I mean, he has a lot of rookie cards. The point is, listen,
I've talked about this, price.
But I've talked about this on the show. I've said Ian's outside. He's not saying LeBron when he shoots the ball. He says Curry. You know, he clearly does mean a lot. But the cards have run. They've run a lot. And, you know, I could take some heat for this. I would not be buying Curry cards right now because you're buying into a run-up. You
never buy run-ups. I always buy run-ups. And that's an investment style. Like, I'll tell you guys, there have been really good NFT projects that I've invested in that I told Cage to get into that he believed in the project and he wouldn't buy in because it already ran up. It's a weird mental block he has.
Yeah, and he has bought at the peak on several of them too, and then watched them come down, and he's lost his shirt.
Which one?
Buying chain runners at 3 and watching them come down to 1.5. I'm glad I didn't listen to you on that one.
Chain runners, you sent us a screenshot.
I am glad I didn't listen to you. I am so glad.
We made
because if I would have bought in when you told me to buy back in, poof, I would have lost my shirt. The point is, it doesn't always work. Neither side works all the time. You can buy while it's running.
None of what Cage just described ever happened. We bought into chain runners and made 15x in like 2 days.
Guys, you know what? He's right. Always buy into the hype. Always buy as things are running.
I didn't say that.
See you guys later.
Where did he go? Peace.